Welcome to Underdawg Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs, and today is no different than any other day. I have Miss Robin Banks. She's the founder and owner of Banks Notoriety and Signing Agency. Robin has not only built a thriving business, but also has dedicated herself to mentoring and educating and inspiring other notarizers. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. First question. Fun fact.
Okay. Fun fact.
Yep. Need a fun fact.
Okay. Fun fact is this is funny. I love to sing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't say that I could sing, but I love to sing. So most times you'll probably catch me like just humming something or constantly have a song in my head or just something on my mind. But I like music, and so I don't know. I feel like one day, like once I get real grown and old, like I want to sing in my choir, you know. So
In a church choir?
Yeah, in a church choir. Yeah.
Anybody, I feel like anybody, good or bad, can make it in a church choir.
Yeah.
I guess a fun fact about me is I was in the children's choir. I can't sing a lick.
Okay.
But it's because I guess my voice was kind of deep, and it was like younger boys, so it's only a few of us, because my friend that was my age, he played the drums, so he didn't have to sing.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, I can't sing either. But I can harmonize.
Okay.
But I can't.
Well, that helps. Then at least you can blend in your voice with others. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think God knew not to let me be able to sing.
Yeah, probably me too. But I still love it.
I'd have used it for the wrong purposes. Never to just singing. So let's get into our conversation. Can you share the story behind the founding of Banks Notoriety and Signing Agency, and what inspired you to start, and how did you grow your passion for like mentoring others? So I guess that's kind of a loaded question. Yeah,
definitely. So I started Banks Notary and Signing Agency about 2020 actually. So kind of during the pandemic, everything else outside of the world was in a total chaos, including my career as well. So I just wanted to do something different, wanted to do something where I was doing it on my own, where the time was flexible. The money is unlimited income that I can potentially make. And I just wanted to do something that I could help my community with. So that's the reason why I founded it and started it. And since then, it's definitely been going good. Like, I've learned a lot. I've trained under some really good notaries and professionals, and just kind of just built the business, as well as just networking with other people, learning the industry of just not only notary, but I do also like real estate documents. So learning title documents, things like that. So I saw that it was a need for it, and that it wasn't a lot of people doing it in the industry that I knew of anyways. And it worked really well with my schedule. So I jumped on it and just never looked back.
Got you. So what is notoriety? I feel like I've heard it before. I know what it is, but I didn't really know what it was until I think when I got divorced. Okay. Like, you had to get your stuff notarized. I was like, oh, okay. And so what is that, and where are some places that people can go to do that? Because I see a lot of people writing on statuses, who can help me and stuff of that. Well, they can go to you, but just in general, where would they be able to go to do that? Yeah,
definitely, yeah. So a notary public is basically a commission official who acts as an impartial witness to the signing of loan documents, right? Okay. So they're kind of like a third party to make sure who is signing this document is really who you say you are, right? And you don't want to. The person doesn't want you to come back and say, no, that wasn't me that signed it, Yeah. So that's why a notary is in place to be that third-party witness, so that I can say, yeah, I did see his ID. His ID matched with who he was, and, and I recorded watching him sign. So,
Okay.
it pretty much prevents fraud from people, doing fraudulent transactions and things
Got
like
you.
that. So, it's, very important to take it seriously if you are a notary, because you're preventing people from doing fraudulent things and committing fraudulent acts. So, so it's very important.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely is important. And you got to make sure that you have all the information right. Because if you don't and you do that, Yeah,
it definitely can come back. I mean, you can, and also to your other question, so you can find, most of the time, some banks do notary just for their clients.
Yeah.
But then, so like I specialize in mortgage documents, real estate documents. So you need something additional. You need your notary commission, but you also need your title producer's license to be able to notarize like real estate documents. So
Gotcha.
general notary documents, you could probably go to like a UPS or your bank, but definitely you can call me. We're always available. I have a couple notaries outside of myself that helps as well. So you definitely can always find us available all the time.
Got you. So someone who's like transitioning, because you can do this on the side, right?
Yes.
So someone that's like got this as a side hustle and trying to be a full-time entrepreneur, what are 3 key factors that you believe that can help that shift?
Okay, so you said if they're
they got a side hustle, then maybe they do what you do, maybe they just do a side hustle in general. What do you think are like 3 factors that can take them from it being a side hustle to a full-time entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think definitely networking, because the more you network with people, that just increases like your net worth, right? I've met some amazing people just networking, going to events that I really didn't want to go to at first, but once I got there and got involved and was talking, met some good people, like some really good people that put me in positions that, I was like, wow, if I hadn't went to that event, I would have been struggling trying to find, this connection or this person. So definitely networking. The second I would say would be, I think just having like that drive and that determination, because when you're going from full-time to entrepreneur, or even if you just want to, have a side hustle, you definitely got to have like that drive, because it's not going to be easy. Like people are just don't know me just because, right? So I got to be out there telling people who I am and advertising and marketing and all of that. So you have to definitely just be determined. You just can't give up easily. And then the third I would say would be to, I would say you definitely need to be, oh man, it's a couple of them, but I would say you want to be organized, because you're dealing with like documents, important information, and people's personal information. So you want to be organized. You want to be, professional. You want to be trustworthy too, because you are dealing with people's information. So you want to know that you are a trustworthy person as well.
Yeah, definitely got to have that drive, because people see a lot of the good side of entrepreneurship looks like when they're on social media, but you don't get to see the hard days, the times that it's people crying, it's people like, I want to give up, I want to go back and get a job or something of that sort. So you got to have that. You got to expect adversity. Like it don't matter. I think in life, or if you play a sport, if you are an entrepreneur, anything, you got to expect adversity. And when it comes, you can't run from it. Because if you run from it, you just going to maybe get over the first speed bump, but then you still going to be having to get over the second one. Yeah. So that's definitely a good one. Organized, I'm working on that. I'm working on being organized myself, because I feel like when you're more organized, just the little bit that I do, you're more productive.
Yes.
Like using your calendar, or even if you don't, but just saying what you're going to get done the next day and putting it in front of your face, like, okay, I need to accomplish these things. Yeah. If I don't, then, okay, I got the next day, but I need to accomplish at least the majority of them if I can't accomplish all of them. So being organized is definitely important, even if you're in your business, anybody's business, because like you said, you're dealing with documents. There's a lot of paperwork. Having a business is a lot of stuff that you can't forget to do, especially like taxes and stuff of that sort. Because you forget that,
absolutely,
you're in trouble.
Absolutely, you don't want those problems.
Can you explain your role in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, particularly in just your industry?
Yeah. So, when you say my role, meaning.
Like, what role does your industry have in the ecosystem?
I think my role is very important in the industry. Like I said, we're a third party to prevent fraud. So I feel like a lot of maybe attorneys or lawyers depend on a notary to make sure that documents are being signed properly and also being signed by who they need to be signed by. So, that definitely prevents lawsuits coming back further in the future or anything like that. So definitely it's important. I mean, I feel like a notary is used from the smallest, simple little acknowledgement to, signing a legal contract, a business contract or something like that, or a mortgage, something that's going to be around for 30 years. So definitely I feel like it definitely plays a role, in a major role, because without it, you be having all kind of people fraudulently doing things left and right, so
definitely. So we're going to switch it to my segment, Who's Your Favorite Underdog? So these are just random questions of who you could think of at that in this time frame of who's your favorite underdog. Are you into sports?
I love football, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not into sports where I know all the players' names, their position, their roles.
Okay, just making sure because some people no, I don't know nothing about sports. So who is your favorite underdog in sports?
In sports, I would probably say Serena Williams, because I love tennis. Mm-hmm. So I definitely would probably say Serena, and just knowing her story of how she came from California and how she grew up with her other siblings and how they were, poor. But just seeing her dad's determination, her family's determination, how they all supported her, and look at where she is now. So definitely, I feel like I that's my idol. When I'm out there on the court, I try and mimic her as much as I can, and I'm not really good at tennis, I'll be honest, but again, I love to do it. So if there's something that I like to do, whether I'm good at it or not, I enjoy doing it. So I'm sure I get better at it the more I do it. But I definitely will say Serena Williams for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And even in that factor, she was the underdog in the house because Venus was older than her, so everybody's like, "Oh, Venus." She nah, but her dad told her, "You gonna be the greatest," and I mean, well, he spoke it into existence. Yep. So, who's your favorite underdog in history?
In history, in history, I may say Jesus Christ. I feel like he was someone who grew up poor and went through a lot, took on a lot, endured a lot, sacrificed a lot, and look at him now, right? So I feel like in history, I that's who I would say.
I like that answer. So who's your favorite underdog in business or entrepreneurship?
That's a good question. In business, I don't know. I have one. I can't think of one person in particular, but I mean, I would just definitely say just in general, there's a lot of entrepreneurs who start from nothing. There's a lot of people who even, not just entrepreneurs, but people who work, right? They started at the bottom, and now maybe they're the manager or, you know, supervisor of the company. So, you know, I feel like a lot of us take a start from the bottom and just work our way up, right? A lot of us are not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. So a lot of us start from where we're at and we just keep on going until we get to the top, you know?
Yep,
So
got you. You could have said yourself.
I could have, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
No,
you know.
I feel like since I started it, at least one question somebody says themselves.
Yeah.
So, who's your favorite underdog in your personal life?
In my personal life, I would probably say like my grandmother. She's passed away now, but I still look at her as the person who, you know, started the family, grew the family, and was the glue to keep the family together. You know, since she passed, we don't get together a lot like we used to. So definitely, I feel like everybody came to her for their problems, questions, everything. So although I feel like she had the maybe least important role, but she was like, you know, the main thing to everybody, you know.
Yep.
She was very important and special, so I would definitely have to say her.
Yep. I would say, I could say that for my granddad. My granddad, he was like blind from the majority of the time that he was on earth with me until he passed. But I never, like, you could tell, I mean, he didn't drive or nothing, but you couldn't tell. Like, he did everything. He knew the house and everything of that sort. But for me, somebody that had a disadvantage, seeing him being able to do it let me know that I can do whatever the same way. Because it was, I just don't remember. I was like, was he really blind? Like, he was cooking, he was doing all kind of stuff. And I remember I tell this story quite often, or if I explain him, his dude owed him some money. And my granddad could feel that it wasn't the money that it was supposed to. My granddad was a big dude. And he grabbed him by his neck, was like, I need all my money. And my man's just like, oh, hey, here you go. And it was like, it was funny because it was funny, but it was like, dang, yeah, you can't really underestimate somebody because he thought he was going to get over on him. But he like, nah, bro, I need my money.
Yeah, I need my money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. I love telling that story because I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like,
yeah,
granddaddy ain't no plaything. Okay. So for students or aspiring entrepreneurs, what's like a lesson or two that you've learned like early in your journey that you can like share with them?
Yeah, I would probably just say definitely to just be resilient. Like, you know, don't give up. You're going to have times and things that are not going to go as planned or that's going to just totally mess up your plans, right? But you just have to be resilient and just pick back up and keep going. And not just with business. You have to do that in life as well because life be lifing. And so you can't let it get to you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got to be stronger and you got to fight back. Like, okay, well, this came at me. Like, I'm not going to just let this stop me or hold me back. Like, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to go 10 times faster. I'm going to go that much harder. Like, I'm going to prove that nothing's going to hold me down. You know what I'm saying? Just, so definitely just being resilient and just keep picking up and, you know, fall down 9, get up 10. So. Yep.
And I always, like, as I've got older and a little more intelligent, I look at it as like we always had adversity. Even the smallest of kids had some type of adversity to overcome. If we look back at the adversity that we already overcame, then we know we can overcome whatever's in front of us. Like, I can look at it like, okay, I was born with this disability. I done had all these surgeries. I done got over bullying, all that stuff. This little stuff that life's trying to throw me as an adult isn't as bad as what I had to deal with less resources and things of that sort as a kid. So, like you said, life gonna give you a 2-piece and a biscuit, but you got to get back up because if you don't, then somebody that's watching you might not even go after their dreams or goals. Because I learned, like, it's really not about you. No matter what you do, no matter how you go, what stage you go on, how much money you make, it's not about you. It's about the people behind you or the people that's around you, because it's got to be somebody that's can be the leader. It's got to be somebody that can go out there and that's going to jump off the porch. Because a lot of times, us as black people, we have, oh, yeah, we're going to do something. Never do nothing. It's like vacation. Oh yeah, the first couple months, yep, it's 50 people.
Yeah.
Then it's 30 people. Then it's 20 people. Then the time closer is 10, maybe 5 go because nobody wanted to take that first leap and be like, oh, hey, I made my whole payment already.
Right.
And that's just how we are, and we have to change that. You have to be that leader. You have to be that person that's going to jump off the porch for those that are around you, because if you don't, everybody going to stay in the house, and then all you're going to do is complain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
In your experience, which factor, exposure, education, or experience, has the biggest impact on your success?
Man, it's a combination of all of those, but I think experience. Because I feel like you can be educated on something, but until you actually experience it, you don't know where it comes into play, right? But sometimes you can learn from that experience and you're good. You never make that mistake again, or you'll just have a perspective and you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. I see how this works, or, whatever. So I would probably say experience.
Yeah. Because I think that's how I've made it through life.
Yeah.
Is experience. Like, I never was the sharpest knife in the thing. I just went off of showing up and just really paying attention to what was going on and using my common sense. Because experience is really everything. So today, my son, he was the last day of tryouts. He didn't make the team. So I told him, I was like, you know why you didn't make the team, because you didn't give it your all in the off season. So he understood that, but it was like he had to experience that. My son really hasn't been on a losing team. Like we lose every now and then as our team, the team that I coach with him. He lost a little bit last year with the school team. So he don't really understand I'm not going to be on a team. So I was like, maybe this would be a wake up call for him to be like, okay, let me tighten up. Let me go out here and work on my game every day and stuff of that sort. Because if you don't experience that loss and all you do is win, it's not going to help you. People think, oh yeah, I got to win. No, you got to lose.
Yeah.
You got to lose a lot.
You do.
A lot.
You do. You have to lose in order to appreciate when you do win. You know? So, and every time you lose, I feel like you're learning a lesson from it. So if you're smart enough, you like, nah, I lost too much on this. I'm never want to make that mistake again. So you definitely have to lose. And I feel like you come back stronger. That's where that resilience comes into play, because you're like, man, in your some situation, man, I didn't get on the team, man, I'm going to work harder next time. I'm going to be on that team. You know, all his friends are going to be talking about how they're on the team and things like that. So it's definitely going to push him to be like, nah, I'm on that team next year. Like whatever it takes, I'm ready to eat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I definitely appreciate all the losses that I've had to take. Like, I didn't at that moment, but coming out of it and just even seeing myself like, dang, I really came out of that. Like, I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let that, hinder me or anything like that. I came out of it. And I'm like, dang, like, look at myself. Now I'm proud because I'm like, I did that, So, yeah, definitely. I would have to say, for sure.
Yeah, like you said, you don't realize it in those moments. I think you don't realize it in the mindset that you're in, because when you understand losses, you like, okay, what can I learn from this? But if you're not in the right mindset, you're going to be like, oh, I'm losing again, I'm doing this. But if you don't change that behavior, you change your habits, it's going to come back around. Like, I've definitely experienced the same thing once or twice because I didn't change my habits or I didn't change my mindset. And like you said, like, you got to have an experience or a loss to be like, let me wake up. Let me tighten up. Let me get my shit together, because I don't like the way that I feel. That's what I told him. I was like, you don't like that feeling, do you? You should never want to feel like that again. You got to go put in the work. And people don't realize it ain't going to come to you. Like, nobody's got the door. There's no butler at the door like, hey, come on in here. This is the right door for you. You got to actually, like, put in the work and take them losses. I told him, I was like, Michael Jordan got cut. You good. Like, everybody ain't make the team every time. Like, or you could make the team and y'all lose every game.
Yeah.
You never know. So you gotta make sure that you understand those experiences, because the experience will help you with the exposure. because then you'll understand, okay, I don't need to be with this crowd. Let me go over here with this crowd.
Yeah.
And then the education, you learn the lesson from whatever, loss you took.
Yeah,
So, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So storytelling, value creation, and critical thinking are critical in building a brand. How have these concepts played a role shaping building your agency?
I would say critical thinking, just almost thinking outside of the box, like, to set myself apart, what can I do that's different from the other notaries? As I'm looking to gain business or market myself, like what is attractive, like what is popular, what are people engaging in, like, so for social media, what's getting people's attention? Is it videos? Is it pictures? So just always like thinking ahead. What's the next move? So I think really just trying to strategize and see what is working and then what is not working. And what is working, you want to continue it. You want to lab on that, or go further with it. And then what's not working, you definitely want to just cut it out, or just try and just rethink a lot of situations I've had to start it off on one path and then was like, I don't know, this really doesn't seem like it's working, or I'm not getting the results that I really want to. So, sometimes you just have to kind of pivot and do what's best for you, what works for you and your business.
Yeah, definitely. It be times where life be lifing, and then I sit there and be like, what was I doing when I was winning? What little things was I doing? And then I started doing those, because you gotta look at what you were doing when you were winning, because you were winning for a reason.
Yeah.
But even when you win, you got to take a loss. So like you said, you got to, okay, why didn't I get that deal, or why didn't this happen? And you have to actually look in the mirror. I think when you're in business and entrepreneurship, you got to look in the mirror, because guess what? Ain't nobody else there.
Right.
If you don't get up and go and do whatever you need to do, nobody else is. So I think a lot of it is just looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself about where you're at, where you want to go, and what do you need to do to get there.
Yeah.
Because I had to understand that, because you see somebody else, right, and you be like, man, I know I'm better than them. Mm-hmm. You might be, but they got all the strategy, they got everything that you don't have, and then you go up there and you can embarrass yourself. It's like a freshman trying to go against a senior.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you talented, but bro, I've been doing this, so calm down. And then you have to learn, how did that person get to that spot? So being in business, how did you find a mentor for yourself? Like for just you, and to be able to, and it didn't necessarily have to be a mentor in business, but it could be business or life. But how did you, go about getting you a mentor? Yeah,
I actually have a couple different mentors. Like, I do have a mentor that I use for business. So when I was in the notary business, I went to networking events that was geared to notaries. I was on Facebook groups, joining them, just seeing okay, who's really out here doing it, and whose business model would I kind of like to follow, right? So I found a mentor that was willing to help, and really just wanted to see other mentors succeed, which was really, once I learned the business and once I got acclimated, I began to I want to share this with other people as well. I want to, it's a great industry. It's a great business if you want to do it on the side, or if you want to make it your full time. There's a lot of money to be made, not just with just notary, but you can diversify and do a lot of different things just with your notary commission. So I would definitely just say that you find that mentor, find that person who is at a position where you want to be, where they're in your, this is your dreams, but they're already in the reality of it. Find that person to mentor you. I have a mentor, just a personal mentor. I almost call her my therapist, because, she helps me with life stuff, so having a mentor or just someone that you can go to, that you can talk to, that is going to give you good, positive advice, that really wants to see you and help you succeed, right? Because you can find a mentor left and right. You can pay thousands of money for one, but at the end of the day, they just want that money. You know what I'm saying? They like, here, follow these steps, pay me my money, and that's it. But you want someone that really cares, that's going to show you and going to help you, right? So, and I feel like a lot of people like to help other people once they see that that person has that drive and that they're, you know, they're willing to learn. People got to be teachable. Yeah. And so you just have to be willing to learn and be like, okay, you know, I'm ready to absorb everything that you're saying, everything that you're willing to teach me. So. Yeah.
I was just telling some students that I wouldn't say teach. I think I was substituting. And I was like, when you say you want help and your car broke down, but you sitting in the car, nobody knows that you need help. Nobody knows what's going on. Yeah. But if you outside, you got the hood up and you looking and you fixing stuff, somebody gonna be like, hey, you need some help. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's kind of how it is. I think I've learned that with having mentors or coaches. It's like, oh, I got a coach. Okay, they tell you these things. You actually got to go do it. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, it's like you're wasting both of y'all time, because it's like, why am I giving you steps? Why am I giving you the blueprint and you're not doing anything with it? And I had to understand, like, what's the purpose of me signing up? What's the purpose of me getting a coach or a mentor or something of that if I'm not going to do what I need to do? And that's how life will get you. Life will beat you down and have you like, oh, I just need to get over this hump of life. But no, it's really trying to tell you don't go after your purpose or your goals, but it's like you still got to go after it. And you got to get around, like you said, the right people. I had two coaches before I found one that was like the one that I knew I needed. And the first two, nothing was wrong with them. They were more business. I was 30 years old at the time, and I was still learning how to be a man. So I didn't understand, okay, let's go out here and do this. So the other person helped me become more of a man, and now, oh, I get it. Mm-hmm. And you got to make sure you have the right person, because, like you said, a lot of people nowadays, they just be scamming. Yeah. They just be, I hate that.
Yeah, I just do.
I hate that. I hate scammers. I got scammed before on Facebook. I think it was my fault because I was being thirsty and I thought I was going to hit a lick, but it didn't work out, and it messed up my whole Facebook page. Oh, man. And I was so mad because I was popping at the time, and then boom. And then people was like, somebody got scammed from me, from the person that was portraying me. I'm like, now you know I wouldn't do nothing like that when it comes to money. But, I mean, that's how life is. You do, I mean, I don't really get the purpose of it, but I do in a sense, because back in the day when you're younger and you don't think there's many options, you only know of hood options, then that's what you think, you know, just like the dudes that steal the Kia cars. Like, bro, that's so lame. That's so lame, because I had one and it got stolen.
Really?
Didn't realize that because it was a Kia car, that's what got stolen. And it's like, you got to go earn what you want. Yeah. Because you can get that quick money. You can go sell drugs. You could hit licks, all that. But it's not going to last. Right. It's quick money. Yep. It's microwavable. It feel good at the moment. You want some money that's going to be in the slow cooker. Yeah. Maybe in the morning. It's done when you get off work, and it tastes a lot better, and it lasts.
Yeah, it lasts a lot longer.
Because you got a little pot roast in a little box and put it in a microwave. And you ate right now, it tastes good, but you're going to be hungry later. Yeah. And that's just how the game is. So you said you are into real estate?
I do real estate closings.
Okay, so could you explain that?
Yeah, so basically if you were buying or selling a property, so in Indiana, if you're buying or selling, then you have to have a real estate, you have to have a notary to do the transaction, right? Yep. So basically, like if you were buying a house, your mortgage would need to be notarized. So your lender may say, you know, here's some documents that we need the notary to notarize. Yeah. So basically, it's just any real estate closings. If you're selling a house, the deed would need to be notarized. So
got you.
Yeah. So things like that.
Didn't mean to cut you off. So it's different than what you were doing before?
Yes. So prior to what I was doing before, I was in purchasing. So just a totally different industry, right? It was medical purchasing, and then, you know, this is just legal documents, basically. So So it's a difference. But with the real estate documents, it's easy. You know what I'm saying? It was just a new industry, but it made sense to me. Like I understood it quickly, and then just kept building on that, not just real estate and farms in terms of houses, but also like buildings and corporate, things like that too. So commercial real estate as well. So
that's good to know that there's different things in different industries, because a lot of times when you hear real estate, you think of certain things, but you can do something like that. So are you always there at the close? You just wait until the closing and then that's when you show up?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So pretty much I come into the closing. I work a lot with new build. So the documents come from the title company and come from the lender. They present them to me. I meet with the buyer, have them sign all their documents, and then those documents go back to the lender, right? So when I come in, sometimes I'm known as the closer because I'm here to close the transaction. No more back and forth with the lender, your realtor, things like that. So it's done with once I come in and you sign the documents, that's it, So it's always a happy experience. I'm at the end of the process. So if a lot of the buyers have been dealing with a lot of stress from their lenders or whatever prior, by the time they get to me, I can smooth all that out. Just give them a pleasant closing, and they, hopefully forget about what happened before. They have the keys to their brand new house, so they're excited, and I just love it. I come into contact with a lot of first-time home buyers, and these are people who could be in their 40s and 50s and just now purchasing their first home. So they're like really excited, you know what I'm saying? And I understand that. I know like in our community, it's not that everyone's buying a house right out of high school or right out of college or anything like that, right? Just thinking in my family, some of my first time home buyer family members, they were in their 40s, so purchasing their first home. And so I feel that experience. And even, people from different cultures, this is their first time buying a home here in the U.S. So, they're very excited. So, it's a very pleasant and just welcoming experience.
So do you do this on your own, or do you have a team?
So I do it on my own. I also have a team of notaries that I call on if there is, assignment that I can't do. I can send it out to them and see if they're available to do it as well.
Got you. So you basically work for yourself.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah.
So what does a typical day look like for you business-wise?
Typical day, so I'm checking my emails just as trying to see, what appointments I have scheduled, if I can fit any more appointments in that day, any cancellations, just trying to see like what my day is looking like as far as appointments. And then I'm pretty much off to either a title company to do a closing there, or I could be off to a buyer's home to do a closing, or just a general notary transaction where I could meet someone at Starbucks, right? So meeting with clients and pretty much paperwork, sorting those out. At the end of the day, I kind of like to send out my invoices and make sure that that I'm getting paid.
Yeah, got to.
And then I pretty much do any follow-ups, emails or strategy calls. I also do like notary strategy sessions where if you are a notary, whether you are a notary or you're looking to become one, but maybe you just want to know like, hey, tell me more about this. I have a 1-hour strategy session that you can book on my website. And if you are a notary and you're looking to like expand and like, hey, how can I really make some money off of this? Give me almost like a plan to follow, right? A blueprint. You can book that call and we'll go over it. We'll go over the things that have really made me successful, things that I felt really worked, and things that I know I've wasted my money on, right? So we'll dive into that. And when you leave that call, you'll be hyped, like you'll be geeked, like, okay, yeah, I didn't know it was, this simple. Like, okay, I can do it. I feel pumped and ready to go. So, and that's the point of it. Like, I want them to feel like they've, one, gotten their money's worth, two, to really have a plan in mind that, okay, this is what I'm going to do moving forward, right? So it's kind of like the same thing with the mentor. I'm going to give you those steps. I'm also going to help you along the way, right? Be a resource for you to call on to make sure that, you're doing it properly. I want to see the notaries that are under me. I want to see them doing well, right? That allows me to back up off of doing so much of the field work, and now I can manage more. I can be out marketing and get more business out there to my notaries. So that is definitely, the goal and the drive for the education and mentoring.
Got you. You're a mom, right?
Yes.
So for some moms that's listening, because ladies do listen to the podcast, hope so. When you first started entrepreneurship, what were what's some advice you could give to them? Because there were some moms out there, they work, they kind of got a little side hustle, they don't know if they want to, their kids got football, all this different stuff, and they don't know how to balance it too. So what is a couple things you could share with moms that want to jump into entrepreneurship full time?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about a balance, you know. Obviously, your kids come first, and for me, it was about balance. It was also about timing. Like when my children was smaller, I don't think I could have done it at that time and been successful because they just needed me too much, right?
Yeah.
But as they began to get older, then I definitely had, a little bit more free time for myself. But definitely it would be just, balance. Just making sure that you also have time for you and the things that you want to do. Like as a mom, I feel like we lose ourselves. We're always, giving to the kids or, to our spouse or whatever. And then to others, friends, other families, that is like we're the last one that we pour into. So definitely just find that balance and do what makes you happy, whatever hobby it is, and you feel good about it and you want to turn that hobby into a business, it's definitely just going to take time, but finding that balance so that you can be able to manage it all and not just feel crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a hard thing being a parent, especially when you got a young kid. Because when I first started, the shift of I want to jump into entrepreneur speaking and stuff like that, my son was very little.
Yeah.
And it was but I would bring him a good portion of places because he wasn't a bad kid. He knew how to sit, listen, or give him a tablet or something of that sort to so he wouldn't be in the way. But it's definitely hard to try to start something because you want to be there for your kids at all moments. And even when it's been time I couldn't make it to his tryouts last week or this week. It's dang, I really wish I could have, made it. Stuff like that where you don't want to miss those kind of things. Because when I was a kid, I don't really remember my parents showing. I don't even know if my parents really know if I know how to play basketball. They know I know how to play. They know I go play, but they don't. I don't know if they know how really good I am for the position I'm in. So it's I don't want to miss the moments with him for that, even though he's young. But then it's hey, bro, I gotta go do this. And it's got to be worth you going to do something if you're going to miss out on your kids. So I definitely understand the balance.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years with your business?
In 5 years, I definitely plan to have a notary academy where you can come, you can get all of your training. If you want to move into loan signings, which is real estate documents, then we have that course for that as well. If you want to be a wedding officiant, we have that course for that, So just diversifying and showing the notaries different ways that they can make money with, so just having that academy, that web-based online academy that people can enroll in and get all the training that they need, so that's I feel like that is the move, to have web-based stuff, tools online so that people can learn at their leisure, so and then you're at the end of the day you're having to record that one time, and you're selling that course to so many people, so and that's where I plan to be in 5 years, having a signing agency that we not only can staff notaries here in Indiana, but if you are a notary or if you're requesting a notary in California, the staffing company can be able to assist with that as well. So we're trying to branch out and be all over, not just Indiana.
Yeah. You just dropped some game. I don't think people might have heard it, but she said everything is on the web. As a person that does a course, all you got to do is record one time. That one time going to be played multiple times, and you create a course off of it and all those things. That's kind of what I'm kind of working on, because there's ways to get into school. Like, I work in a school, so I can't really talk how I really want, because I don't want to lose my job. But I feel there's ways that you can go into the schools and help the kids without being a teacher, without being an educator, without them trying to micromanage you and, oh, well, I don't like the way that you teach, but the kids getting it. They all got good grades. I don't care what you like. They like it, and that's the goal. But, you have to make sure that you're doing the right stuff, and that's the thing to do, is make a course. Like, a lot of people be having these free webinars. They really ain't free. Because guess what? At the end, they like, hey, my friend, give me my money. I'm just like, it's so funny, because I'll get on a webinar. I'm like, okay, let me get on here. And I'll stay on there for a second. I'm like, okay, this information ain't really, I see what they're doing, because I know the game. It's like, okay, I'm going to get off here. Because at the end, you're going to get a deal. Like, I ain't gonna give it all the game out. I'm gonna make a course and give the game out, because that's the easy way to make money. But that's the thing. You got a camera, you got a phone. Sit down. What can you teach the people?
Yeah.
And I had to learn that as a speaker. It's like, you're not going up there to speak. You're actually going up there to teach. And you're teaching them lessons and principles through telling my story. So it's like, just go up there and have some type of structure and some type of substance with what I'm going to say. Because I can go and talk in front of anybody, but it's like, are they going to take away something from me when I'm done and they leave? And if they didn't, then I didn't teach. I just was speaking. Yep. So if you're a speaker, I just gave you some game too.
There you go.
I think you're the first person that's done notoriety that I've known, so I appreciate the game. Like, I only heard it really when I got a divorce and you had to get that notarized. I wish I would have read the whole thing over. I wish I would have read. Yep. That's all I'm gonna say. I wish I would have read the whole thing over before I signed that thing.
Before you signed it.
Because if you don't pay attention, it can kick you in your butt. So if you if you're getting a divorce or something like that, when y'all have that documentation, fellas, ladies, read everything. Because if you don't, things can change in your bank accounts, your credit scores, things of that sort. And you be like, why? Why did this happen? Because you didn't check off a certain box or put in certain information. So that's all I know about the process. But I appreciate the game you gave and telling us about it and what you do. Because sometimes in certain industries, are there a lot of us in your industry?
Not a whole lot.
So you can be the face for us black people and be like, hey, this is something you can do, and it's not that hard to do, and you can make some money off of it, and you're able to do these different things. So I love that, because growing up, you thought you only could play sports, do music, and certain things to be successful. And now these kids it's unlimited of how you can be successful.
Oh, yes. Yes. Like, I mean,
video
YouTube
games
alone, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's
YouTube.
crazy.
Like, it's so crazy, because we complain about what our kids watch, but all we got to do is turn the camera on.
Yeah.
Because that's all people are watching.
Yeah.
Just watching your everyday life.
Everyday life.
And then, since so many people watching it, y'all getting them more money, so they got more stuff to do it. And it's crazy.
Yes.
Or, like, you can be a gamer. Like, who would have thought that from an Atari or a Nintendo, that eventually, few years down the road, you'll be able to make millions of dollars off this?
Yeah.
Never would have thought about it. Never.
It's like, it's no way no one shouldn't be out there doing something, because it's too easy not to do something.
Yeah.
There's, if you have any talent or knowledge. Like, people are selling what they know. They're selling their knowledge to other people. And, we're just so fast and we just want to learn stuff quick, right?
Yep.
So we're just like, tell me how you did it, but at the end of the day, no one's telling you exactly how they did everything. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you a little bit, but you still have to, go out there and do your own research and find your own way as well. So, but yeah, there's no way no one should be not making any money.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a process to get to the money, but you gotta start something. Like, I just feel like all you gotta do is turn your camera on and just record you being you. Like, because there's millions of people that think like you, do stuff like you. Mm-hmm. All you gotta think of that. I really like social media. I can't wait till I be able to have a team, so I don't have to be on there, because it's so negative, and so like, you could be doing good, people still gonna talk about you. They gonna just bring up everything, and then you have to have tough skin.
You do.
You have to have, like, if you're gonna be this is some free game. If you're gonna be successful, have tough skin if you're on social media, because they gonna come for you.
They are.
They gonna come for your head, and you gotta be like, all right, they just the internet. Yep. I'm gonna leave it alone. I remember the first time somebody said something to me on YouTube. I think it was YouTube, and I clicked. I said, are they joking? No, you can't do that. You got to be the you got to understand that you interact with all negative, and if you do, go about it the positive way, because people are watching. People don't realize that people are watching your social media. Kids, they watching your social media. You could lose scholarships off of your social media. You could lose your job off of social media.
Yeah.
That's why, like, if I'm out and about hanging out, don't take no picture of me. Don't put me on your camera. I might be doing something, I might not, but I don't need nobody to know what I'm doing or where I'm at, because it's none of their business. But jobs would be like, oh, I seen you. It looked like you was at. Ain't none of y'all business. And I think that's just, I don't know. I just don't like social media.
Yeah.
But give us a underdog quote.
Underdog quote.
It could be yours. It could be something you live by, something you read, but we need a quote.
All right. Mine is, it's a Bible verse, actually. So mine is, I can do all things through Christ. So I just that is kind of like what I think about all the time that gets me through situations, or when I'm afraid. I know I can do it. Like, I feel like if he's supporting me, he's backing me. Like, I always just like to feel like, that when I talk to him, I'm like, hey, I'm about to go in here and do this taping, speak through me, like, be my support, like, be right here on my shoulder, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that just kind of helps me get through a lot of things. So
I feel you on that. I was learning, like, before I go into rooms and go speak or just be around other people, give me the words that I'm supposed to use, because you never know what somebody hears from you, how that can help change their life.
Absolutely.
And even if you are going through something, like, I heard that in the sermon. I've heard that in the sermon the last 2 weeks. And it was like, make sure, even if you going through something, be able to help somebody else out. And it was, what he said? He said, in your recovery, help somebody else recover. And that's just, it sucks sometimes. You could be down and out. Could be your last $5, last $10, and somebody might need it more than you. And you like, all right, let me give it to them, because it's going to come back to you. So
it is.
I definitely understand praying to God before I walk in the rooms. So tell the people how they can reach you on, I always say the internet. I sound old, but social media, however they can find you, tell the people how they can find you, and it'll be in the show notes too.
Yeah, definitely. First off, I want to say thank you for having me on your show. Welcome me into your studio, your followers and things like that.
No problem.
You guys definitely can find me online, social media, Banks Notary and Signing Agency. You can book a consultation. You can book a call. Just anything is all on my website. If you need any general notary work, you can book that as well. And I'm out here.
She says she out here. So you can follow me on, just go to Google, Underdawg Talk. You know how to spell it if you're listening to the show. But if it's your first time, UNDERDAWG Talk. and you'll find me. There's no other Underdawg Talk online. So let me promote my book. It's for middle schoolers and high schoolers, from underdog to top dog, 7 steps to academic success. And it's small. It's a short book. It's a short read. It's something to help the kids be able to get through school. School's hard. School is hard. It's a lot harder than when I was in school. You got to do a lot of extra work that's unneeded, because I've been in the classroom and had to teach it, so I understand. But it's just something that can help the kids understand how to navigate through school, but also navigate through life, because school only gonna last until either you're 18 or maybe a few years later, but you always gonna have to navigate through life. Yep. So you can find that book on Amazon. And if you're a school, if you work in a school, if you know somebody in the school, middle school, high school, email me, ericjonesjrspeaks@gmail.com. I think that's it. Let me see who I'm gonna shout out. I always shout like people out. Oh, I gotta shout my little homies out. They City Coats football, preferably the 10U, because some of those boys are on my basketball team. They whooping ass. They called the Donut Boys, and they're not called the Donut Boys for no reason. Only 2 teams have scored on them in, I think, about 13 games.
Oh, wow.
And it's not that they just beating little teams here. They beating teams out of town. They went to Arizona, and none of the Arizona teams scored on them. Yep, they put in work. So shout out to Coach O, and shout out to Coach DJ and the rest of the coaches that work with the kids, because they have a great organization. My son just didn't want to play football, so he don't play football, but he does. We play basketball with them. So shout out to them, because they whooping ass. And give us the last word. Close us out. Caught you off guard, huh?
Right.
Yeah. I always ask the guests to give like the last little word before we get out of here.
Last little word.
Some advice, I don't know.
Let me think. Last little word. I would just say, hey, it's hard. Life is hard. But it doesn't have to be. I don't know.
She don't know. I'm gonna pick it up where life is hard. Pick your heart, because everything is hard in life.
There you go. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what she was gonna say. But now you done made me forget what I say when I what do I? Oh, keep being great.
Keep being great.
There we go.